It is chapter 5.
Okay, I'm going to start editing these better because I reread and saw a lot of mistakes I made, and that made me sad. I want to be a better writer. The other day, my teacher said I have promise, so that made me want to try harder. Anyway, sorry for the delay. I promised to have less typos and maybe update more. When I woke up, a new person I hadn't met was sitting on my hospital bed. She was a sweet looking blonde with big eyes and a sundress on. Hi, I'm Rose, she said, smiling. I didn't want to wake you, but there is a package here for you. She handed me a large gray plastic bag. I opened the package, and it was a large bowl. This confused me a lot. I looked for a note but didn't see one. Do you know who gave these to me? I asked, but Rose shook her head. Anyway, I'm Rose, she said. I am Kanaya's girlfriend. I backed away, scared, because Kanaya was threatening me earlier, but she giggled. There's no need to be scared, Stacia, said Rose. Kanaya wanted me to apologize for her. She did? Yeah, she said it was spineless of her to bully you just because Eridan wanted your body. I nodded in agreement. Yeah, that was really mean, I sighed. Do you know Dave Strider? Rose laughed again. Yeah, he's my brother and a perv, she laughed. But I love him. As a sister, I mean. I asked him if she thought Dave and I would have make a good couple, and she shrugged. He's already dating too many people. He told me he spends mad cash on his dates and is becoming poor. I told Rose I didn't care about money and that my parents were billionaires. So were all of ours, she said defensively, like I'm bragging. You can't come to Sburbing unless you had billionaire parents. I don't get it, but it's what the game wants. I told her it was probably because the game wants us to come out of our parents' shadows, and she started crying. I'm so glad you understand, Stacia. She hugged me and stroked my reed hair, but it was entirely heterosexual. I needed to pee, so I told her to get off, but mostly I was scared of Kanaya walking in and misinterpreting that we were only friends. I mean, I just met her, so there was no real way I could know how sweet and kind and funny and amazing she was. So it was just silly to think Kanaya might be mad, because that would be dumb. When I came out of the bathroom, Rose was gone, but she left a bouquet of chocolate roses on my pillow. There was a note saying, "Get better soon," and she signed it with a skull and a cursive letter R. Miss Paint and Spade Slick were in the other side of the hospital. Their eagles were muffled, and Spades was going down on Miss Paint loudly. I pretended not to hear that they were oral sex because that was an awkward situation. Also, Spade Slick scared me a lot. One time I was trying to stay asleep in the hospital. He woke me up just to tell me he likes stabbing. Mrs. Pomfrey, who is Spade Slick's sister, was not working today, so I really hoped I didn't need medical attention. I was terrified of interrupting their date. I desperately wanted to do normal suburb things and walk around and meet trolls and people, but I was scared of fainting. Quite frankly, I was also scared of Solix. I started to wonder what was going on in class. I heard a lot about another teacher, Dr. Scratch. Dave told me he was green and white and had no face, but I didn't believe anything Dave said because he was well established as a liar to me. I quietly ate my apple. I tried not to listen to Miss Paint and Spade Slick going at it. I could plainly see their shadows behind the curtain, and I could just tell they were going to be a while. There was a pile of magazines close to my bed. One was called Suburban Outfitters. I looked at it, and it had all kinds of outfits that Kanaya designed. The models were Carcat, who I didn't meet, so I didn't know his name yet, Eridan, who looked like he had to cry in the photos, and Tavros, but mostly Rose. Rose looked lovely in all of the designs. Another magazine was called Durst. I read it, and it was all kinds of news about Suburb. I decided to read an interview with the mayor of Durst, who was also the mayor of the fake Can Town. He said that he could tell me there was danger coming soon. He said that he was worried for everyone. He also said that there was a new Japanese restaurant on Prospect that made the best food. I told myself I would need to check it out. I kept reading, but then I saw the magazine came out 2 days ago. That means the danger didn't happen yet. Before I could think of the dangers ahead, a cute salamander hopped into the hospital. It made a lot of spit bubbles with they were really cute. He hopped onto my bed and onto my lap. I bet the salamander and decided to name it Gingerbread. Casey, a voice said. Casey! The voice was worried. A boy with buck teeth and amazing blue eyes walked in. Casey, he said madly, what are you doing here? I looked at him weirdly. My name is not Cassie, he told me, but he was talking to Gingerbread. That is my daughter, said the boy. What the fuck? You had sex with a salamander? He was all kinds of fucked up, even for a Sburb person. No, you idiot, he said laughingly. She's not really my daughter. Oh, I said. Then that means I can keep her. No, you can't. I had her first. Casey slash Gingerbread started to run out of the room because she hated confrontation. Ugh, said John, who I didn't know was John, and he left. I went back to sleep, but only for an hour. I was so tired for sleeping. Every time I slept, I went to Durst, and I wanted to avoid Tom because I felt guilty that Dave kissed me. I started to sigh and quietly write poetry in my head. What part of my heart is right? Where should I go at night? Who do I belong with? Am I an angel or an witch? Why does it all turn to shit? Why can't I just fit in? I sighed again. Gamzee walked in with lots of Doritos and his mouth covered in green slime and orange dust. Hey, motherfuckers, Dorito time all day, he said. He sat at the bed and started tossing Doritos on my boobs until I finally sighed and ate them. That's better, motherfuck, he said sweetly. I had a feeling you were sad, so I brought you Doritos. He then guiltily added, I ate all the cheese ones before you walked in, so you can only have Cool Ranch. I told him those were my favorite. He lied and said, I know. I smiled because Gamzee knew me so well and it was great to have him around. Gamzee also brought me a pie which had Dorito crust, nacho cheese, and was filled with soper pie and then topped with whipped cream that was flavored like Fanta. It looked really gross to me, but I ate it and was pleasantly surprised. Gamzee really was the best. You high it? He asked, and I shook his head. What a dumb bitch, he joked. I wasn't offended because he was my friend and he meant it in the nice A. Gamzee noticed he had a boner. This is awkward, but I'm gonna go listen to the sex while you eat pie. I nodded. Don't tell Tavers, he whispered. Just then, Spade Slick stopped what he was doing. Who goes there? He bellowed. Oh shit, Gamzee said and ran off. I was terrified. Spade Slick was going to stab me. Woo! It's chapter 6, guys! Guys, I am really sorry I screwed up again! Miss Paint is not sisters-in-law with Miss Pomfrey. Miss Pomfret is Miss Payne's brother's wife! I'm so sorry, guys. Also, there are some really big words in here, so I just wanted to warn you. You might need a dictionary for this chapter. Also, there are much more audiences things. Please, no kids. Graphic things are in here. Also, this is a really short one because I have lots of tests and projects. Sorry. Who goes there, Blowwood Spade Slick? He came out for the curtain holding a knife. Spade Slick previously established he was very passionate about stabbing people, and I was already in weak condition because I fainted 3 days ago. I was so petrified that I didn't even care that I could see his pierced boner. Spade Slick shuffled over to me with his knife up. He leaned in derisively and whispered, "Give me some. Right now." I was sincerely terrified and looked up at Spade Slick with genuine vulnerability, and he leaned closer and whispered, "Pie." I was so relieved that it was almost organic. He took a slice of pie and went back to sex with Mrs. Paint. He wanted to eat pie off of her. Spade Slick said, "You better keep quiet, kid," and then went behind the curtain for meh adult fun. I sat in my bed as they loudly made passionate, rough love to each other and drifted off to sleep. The shadowy figures met and shook their heads disapprovingly. "I can tell the plan is not going to happen right," said one, and the other agreed evilly. In my sleep, I went to my castle, and Dave was sitting on my bed with a girl. "Tom!" I shrieked. "How could you, Dee?" "No, sad Tom, it's not what you think, I promise." He indicated to the blonde girl on his bed. "This is Roxy. She's basically my mom and my sister. I just wanted you to meet her." I swear, Tom had major tears in his eyes, pleading me to forgive her. Something, Major Tom, ground control. "Okay, I believe you," I sighed. "Hi, Roxy." I smiled at her. "Hey, baby," she slurred and wonked at me. Dave and I are about to drink alcohol, she informed me. I sighed. My mom always taught me that drinking was wrong, but if you had to do it behind closed doors and with people you trust. My doors were closed and locked, and all the human beings on Earth were dead, so that made me feel safe. I nodded and sat on the bed next to Roxy, who was taking her first shot. They mixed root beers and alcohol and gave me a sip. It tasted fine. 5 minutes later, Roxy was very drunk, and Tom was offended that she kept flashing us her boobs, so he left. In a huff. I wanted to follow him, but it was an awkward situation, and I wanted to make new friends. We sat in silence, drinking, and then Roxy kissed me. I'm not a lesbian, said Roxy as she rubbed my breast and tried to touch my vagina. I just like having fun. I sighed. I didn't know if I should let her give me orgasms or not. Before I could react to her advances, someone walked through the door. It was something like I never saw before. I was so scared, I woke up with a gasp in fear.